Game number 3, we have Innovation in a Terran versus Terran this time. Starting to the top left, we have the Team Acer player with 2 wins already today, both of those against Zerg players, taking down Jadong in game number 1 and taking down Suppy in game number 2. Now here on Frost, he's facing a Terran player. Starting to the bottom right, we have a Xenocider for Team EG. Currently, we are on the Korean server. The one thing in StarCraft that is of course always a little bit tricky is that you have basically players scattered all across the world. You have a couple of them being in Europe, others in America, and then of course you have the Koreans. And it's very, very difficult to really find the perfect server to let players play against each other if it's an online tournament. Usually if you have a Korean going up against a European, you go on the North American server. But if you have a Korean player going up against a North American player, it's a little bit more tricky because both servers, North America and Korea, are not 100% for either one of them. So you will always have a slight advantage if it is your home server. Innovation had to play on the North American server against Suppy, and Suppy being a North American player had a bit of an advantage there. Innovation won the match, so now with the Xenocider also being a North American player, they decided to play game number 3 on the Korean server. That will put Xenocider at a bit of a disadvantage here, but in the end it all evens out and makes for a pretty fair team match, as fair as it can actually be. As you can see on the production tab, they currently go for the exact same build orders at this point. The timings are absolutely identical, and let's see how exactly this is going to work out, especially of course for Xenocider, who is definitely a player who can take a game of any player in the world, in my opinion. He might not be able to win a best of 3 against someone like Innovation, but I could definitely see him take one map. This is like the beauty about an elimination system. If you have a player that is trained as a sniper or just has a really good build against a certain opponent or a map or a race, then you can win any game and you can really take out a heavy hitter like, for example, Innovation. But it's by no means easy. I mean, Innovation is an absolute monster. This guy is just so damn good and he's showcasing it right now already. Xenocider, on the other hand, a pretty young kid and very outspoken as well. That's one of the things that you just have to love about the guy. If you ever heard an interview of Xenocider, he usually says what he thinks, and that's pretty refreshing in the StarCraft 2 scene, in my opinion. So right now we have still exactly the same build. Double gas being taken for both of them, straight into factory, no scouts on the map just yet, both of them just relying on the information that they have, don't really caring too much about where the opponent spawns. And that comes already to the starport with a double gas. We are very likely to see some kind of commitment. We could see Banshees here, could also just see a little bit of defense with a Raven at first and then also a Viking, depending on what exactly they're going to scout, if they scout anything before they are this far. And you can already see that at least for Xenocider we have the tech lab, and the tech lab also coming in for Innovation. Just a little bit of a later timing here, but it will still work out for him. So we're gonna see at least the opportunity for both of them to go straight into Banshees. The scouts are on the map, and this is absolutely identical. This is as a mirror match as it could be. Both of them moving in. Bottom left we have the scout for Innovation, so they will scout their opponent at the second position that they check out. There's the Banshee, cloak commitment also incoming, and let's see what we see for the Xenocider. It's the absolute same build. I really love Banshee versus Banshee because the cool thing about it is that it just forces both players to be in they have to bring their A game. They have to be in tip-top shape and really show us what they can do, because you have to be at so many points on the map at the same time. You have to be at your opponent's base to make sure your Banshee doesn't die, to make sure that you're in a position where you can do some damage. You have also just to make sure that you are taking not too many losses at your own base, dealing with your opponent's Banshee. Nice block here, by the way, so no scouting information. The same, of course, for Xenocider, unfortunately, true with Innovation's main base. Both of them lost one SCD, as you can see right here. And we have both of them also, after Banshee number 1, going straight into the Raven, so the Banshee defense. Innovation, the one to drop his command center a little bit faster, but Xenocider is doing the same thing. And it's like they both have a pact. It's like okay, let's never deviate for more than 1 second. I mean, look at this. Double Marine, double Marine. Just the supply depot here, maybe a little bit out of character, but also double tech lab, so both of them doing the exact same thing, but here comes the Banshee. And with those Banshees arriving in the opponent's main base, things are gonna change very, very fast. Because now it's really time to make sure that they get a couple of kills in. And there's already a delay on the command center, killing this one. Moving in, the Raven is out on the other hand. 2 kills so far, gets a third one and starts to move out. At the same time, we have the Banshee of Xenocider moving in, not getting anything done. Well, 1 kill, but that's about it. All the way at the bottom right, Innovation has 4. With the Banshee moving in again and maybe able to get another one. A nice job, well done. That's 5 SCVs and a Marine for 2 SCVs so far. So decent job by him. And as you can see, Xenocider doesn't really have a great day here because that Raven is in the perfect spot. And now it's starting to hunt down the Banshee with a Viking accompanying him. So really well done so far by Innovation, getting a slight lead in the game. Xenocider and Innovation going for the same unit composition if you so want. We have a slight difference here in the faster siege tank for Xenocider, but Innovation now has his first tank as well, and we have the Banshee number 2 already being built for him. Also, this base was delayed, as I already mentioned earlier, since the SCV that was building it was taken out, and that's a bit of a nuisance here. So the Mule is available faster for Innovation than it is for Xenocider. Another base has already started, so Innovation is now very, very eager to get even more ahead in economy. And just looking in general at the army supply and at the worker supply, you can see that Innovation takes a slight lead here in worker supply and is a bit behind an army. That's mainly because he invested the extra minerals into the command center here, but it will definitely put him in a very decent position if Xenocider waits for too long, because the EG player is making absolutely no moves to put another command center in his own main base at this point. We have Banshee already moving in. The second Banshee trying to get into position as well, and that is the point in time where Xenocider will be hard pressed to not lose anything, since one Banshee is going to attack his mineral line at the natural and the other one is most likely going to move straight into the main base. Of course he has a bit of a hit squad here that he can use against it. He has like a double Viking and the Raven, but if he moves out with this now, that would be absolutely atrocious for him. Like, he could do some damage at the top left, but at the same time now he has to deal with those 2 bad boys. And there comes the first Banshee in already, doing some damage. The Vikings are already there. Another volley. Yeah, that Banshee's gonna die. But Banshee number 2 is in the main base right now. And this one is wrecking the economy. And I don't think that he even realized it. He realized it way too late. That's 8 kills already. That's currently 9 kills, 10 kills. Could get another one if he's careful. No. Doesn't get another one, but that was still pretty close. So 13 Harvesters killed, 2 Banshees lost, and here comes now Xenocider moving out with his army. And his army size is actually pretty significant. 46 against 31, but it has been spotted by the double Marine here. So Innovation knows very well what's going to happen next. Already has a bunker in building. We have like double siege tank for him. Looking at the upgrades, we do not have stim or combat shields for either one of these players. But as it happens, Innovation will have stim very, very soon. And that is now a big issue, because by the time that Xenocider arrives up here, stim is most likely going to be done for Innovation, and he also has the double siege tank. It doesn't really look like the EG player will be in any position to do a lot of damage. If he can somehow break through here, then he might have a chance, but there's 3 siege tanks on the high ground already. Stim is about to be done. Medivacs are also in the picture now for Innovation, whereas Xenocider is still lacking those. So I don't really see that happening. The Vikings, on the other hand, are of course dominating in the skies right now. So the Medivacs will have to be careful, and the greater vision for the siege tanks will give him a little bit of an edge there too. But still, Innovation has a very nice position here in general. Keep that 3rd CC also in mind that he has, that grants him additional energy that he can use for the scans here. And for, of course, detection as well, which you won't need. Oh, and there we go. Trying to sandwich his opponent's position with stim. The Marines are moving in. And, of course, immediately the Vikings on the ground trying to somehow force this army back. But most of the siege tanks are already gone. Xenocider drops down to 59 supply. He loses everything, and that's the GG and game. Innovation takes down another evil genius. He takes down Xenocider, his first Terran victim today, and puts the score for Team Acer to a 3-0.